Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Sprynyl with Alex Spry, the show where I talk about my record collection. Today, we are mostly going to be talking about just records, and that's it. The whole premise of this entire show. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for my final episode of Sprynyl with Alex Spry, but this is going to be a bit scripted at the beginning, and then it's kind of going to be not so scripted. I'm kind of doing this unscripted right now, so we're going to see how my time at DC Broadcasting has shaped how I am live on air with no script. So this is going to be one giant lawn section, and it's going to be broken down into 3 segments, however, so that'll be very, very interesting. So the whole premise of the show has been that I am Alex Spry. Sprynyl is a play on words of my last name Spry, and the thing that the show is about, vinyl records. I have accumulated a collection of over 300 vinyl records in the past 11 to 12 years, and it has literally consumed my entire life. It has been the thing that I talk about and what I've been known for here at Durham College and just in my life by the Beatles. So how we're going to do this is that usually what I would do is that I would bring out my record and I would talk about the artist, just a little background on them, and also the album that I'm talking about. In the second part, I would give you like my song analysis and just my takes of the album and like the musicality of it, the lyrics, stuff like that, and also just show you when I bought the record as well. In the third bit, I would usually give my final thoughts, tell you my favorite songs, and what I'm talking about next week. This last episode, however, in the first section, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 albums I think that you should have in your record collection. In the second bit, I'm going to be talking about my personal favorite pressings in my record collection and just records I didn't really get to talk about. And in the final bit, I'm just going to be giving my thanks and expressing my gratitude to everybody that has given me all this support for the past 64 episodes. I have a full stack in Minecraft of episodes, as my boyfriend Jake says. So this is going to be very interesting. Let's start off really strong with the number 10 album, the number 10 spot in my list of I think that should be in your record collection. So we're going to start off strong with Elvis Presley's debut album from 1956. Very strong album. I am not an Elvis fan by any means. Like I'm not going to be screaming on a ledge somewhere saying you need to listen to Elvis. That is not what I'm saying. I don't agree with anything Elvis has ever done, but I gotta give credit to the man that is considered the king of rock and roll, and this album, the debut album of the king. This album spent 10 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Top Pop Albums chart in 1956. It is the first rock and roll album to make it to the top of that chart, and it is the first million-selling album of that genre. This album has the most recognizable early rock and roll numbers with songs like Tutti Frutti, Heartbreak Hotel, Lottie Miss Claudie, and its singles Blue Suede Shoes, I Got a Woman, I'll Never Let You Go Little Darlin', I Love You Because, Just Because, and Money Honey. Even the album cover alone, like you can look at this and it's very recognizable. Even just having like the name of it, having his name Elvis, like Elvis is right here. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to like notice that his last name is here because his name Elvis is so iconic. Like it really stands out because he truly is the king of rock and roll. And with the back of it here too, like just like early little pictures of Elvis like that, which is just so bizarre to me, très bizarre. The album cover itself is actually just so iconic, especially with the Clash. Actually, they used this as an inspiration for their album London Calling from 1979, I believe it was, maybe. But you have to like give credit to where credit is due. You know what I mean? The history behind this album makes it worthy of being in the top 10 of records you should have in your record collection. If it weren't for Elvis, then none of these artists that I am going to tell you today would be on this list at all. It is because of Elvis why we have any of these artists. So this is number 10. So, moving right along here. This is going to be a very, very different one. But for my number 9 spot, I decided to choose 21 by Adele, released in 2011. This is the only album on this list that was made when I was alive. I was 8 in 2011, but I remember when this album came out and it was huge. this album was massive. I know that my dad absolutely loved this album. He loved Adele. My very good friend Sharon is absolutely obsessed with Adele. Like, she has flown to Vegas just to see Adele live. Like, it's crazy stuff like that. But out of all the artists that I have heard, female artists, within the 21st century, Adele's vocals are some that I can say truly stands out among the rest of the female artists I've ever heard. In my opinion, Adele's voice is 1,000 times better than Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Miley Cyrus, Sabrina Carpenter, and Madonna. I genuinely believe that she has some of the most powerful voice and vocals I've ever heard in my life. With that mezzo-soprano voice, like, I have never heard something so powerful and so tear-jerking just from somebody's vocals. And that is just truly based on the raw authenticity within this album. 21 is an album that follows Adele channeling her heartbreak and depression into a Motown and soul influenced sort of sound with her music. I have never heard an album where I can truly feel how this person feels solely through their vocals. With the singles Rolling in the Deep, Set Fire to the Rain, Rumor Has It, and Turning Tables, these songs are relatable to anyone that is going through a very tough breakup, or just simply wants to listen to some Adele bangers, especially. And that is very clear with like the raw authenticity of her breakup with her most raw performance of Someone Like You. This album topped the record charts in more than 30 countries. It became the world's best-selling album of the year for 2011 and 2012, and it is the best-selling album of the 21st century and the third best-selling album overall. There will truly never be another album that feels as relatable and authentic and as timeless as Adele's 21. Can you, like, picture it? Think of yourself when you were 21 years old. Can you imagine being 21 and creating, like, this album? You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane, like, the themes that are within this album. Like, it's timeless. All of the things that she is singing about, you can feel everything that she's felt. Like, it's like the 5 stages of grief within her voice. It's so raw and crazy. But that's why it's number 9 for me, which I wasn't expecting it to be. But, like, when my mom was like, oh, like, what record would you say is timeless from this generation? I instantly thought of this. It's absolutely beautiful. But when you actually look at it, like, it's so crazy to look at. Like, isn't that beautiful? Wow. Just look at that. Beautiful. I don't think there's anything natural. Yeah, here's the rest of it. And the cool thing about this is that this record, oh my God, this record is actually a demo. This album has not been, like, actually fully completed. This is just a demo because she was so, like, she just could not complete the recordings because she was so heartbroken. And what came of it, oh my God, what came of it was just, like, this piece of art. It's just so beautiful to think about. So that's number 9 on my list. Number 8. You're all going to be so thrilled to hear about this. But number 8, I honestly wasn't expecting to kind of be on my list because I was kind of going, maybe, I don't know. But number 8 is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, released in 1966. What can I say about the Beach Boys and Pet Sounds that hasn't been said countless times already on riotradio.ca? With Brian Wilson's direction on this album, we got an album that is almost impossible to recreate today. With singles like Caroline No, Sloop John B, Wouldn't It Be Nice, God Only Knows, expanding rock and roll with orchestrations blending jazz, exotica, classical, and avant-garde music, while also adopting and elevating psychedelia, soft rock, and progressive rock genres. Studio musicians like the Wrecking Crew would come in and replace the small ensemble format in an album, adding woodwinds and instruments like the bass harmonica and the electric theremin that make the album that were never heard in pop music at the time, making this album feel timeless and would, like, further influence other artists to follow in the Beach Boys' footsteps. This album explores lyrical themes of self-awareness, flaws, heartbreak, falling in love, and insecurity. These themes make it feel as though the album could have been written today. And Pet Sounds is recognized for elevating popular music as an art form and being seen as cohesive pieces of work. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential albums in music history. Its influence within how an album is created and respected within the music industry, it deserves to be on the list of records that need to be in your record collection. So obviously you look at this record cover and you're like, that does not look like an album that is considered the most influential of all time. No, it doesn't. It's probably the worst album cover of all time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate this record cover so much. It's so goofy looking, but you know what? You can't just I don't know. It's just crazy to me. But that's number 8. But number 7, I think is gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be extremely controversial, but I don't know. I felt like it was right considering the sort of resurgence it's had within the last 6 years. Number 7 of records you need to have in your record collection is Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, released in 1977. There is a certain type of arrogance, tension, heartbreak, and also love within this album. This album took place when all the band members were dealing with heartbreak and struggles with drug use, which furthered the direction and the lyrics within the album. With singles like Go Your Own Way, Don't Stop, You Make Loving Fun, and Dreams, you can basically listen to these songs and appreciate the musicality without even realizing that the lyrics are confessing that all the members are cheating on each other with each other. With Dreams re-entering the charts on Apple Music and Spotify in 2020, this album has made its way to the younger generation, where they are experiencing the same sort of troubles that the members did 50 years ago. This album sold 40 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time, and it is often considered one of the greatest albums of all time. With this album being Fleetwood Mac's magnum opus and some of the tracks that are hidden from the naked eye, this album is worth a listen and deserves to be in everyone's record collection. I mean, just look at the album cover alone. This is just so iconic with Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood, I believe it is. That's just so iconic. It looks like a Renaissance painting almost. It looks like a piece of art. And then you have the actual members of it as well. I don't think there's an inner sleeve. No, there's not. But yeah, it's crazy. You come into this album for Dreams, but you leave with Songbird with Christy McVie's vocals. Probably one of the most beautiful ballads of all time. Number 6. Now, I was kind of flip-flopping with the number 6 and the number 5 spot, so maybe this might be a little bit controversial, and maybe I myself am not really sure about this, but can't go back now. Number 6 of records you need to have in your record collection is A Night at the Opera by Queen, released in 1975. This is a quintessential rock opera album. With singles You're My Best Friend and Bohemian Rhapsody, this album incorporates a wide range of styles like ballads, music hall, sea shanties, Dixieland, hard rock, and progressive rock influences. It is a very quirky sounding album. I think it might be a little bit too avant-garde, and I think that is why it is number 6 on my list. The harmonies between the 3 members are almost angelic throughout the entire album. I don't think that the only thing that I could compare Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Freddie Mercury to is of George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and John Lennon. They are that beautiful and angelic sounding. They're perfect. You would never guess that Bohemian Rhapsody, Love of My Life, and You're My Best Friend would be on the exact same album. It's all over the place, but it all comes together so beautifully. Every song feels like a new performance, yet flows seamlessly into each other, especially with the 7-minute epic that is Bohemian Rhapsody. That feels like 5 songs put into one. The song is regarded as one of the greatest songs in music history. Bohemian Rhapsody being on this album is enough for this album to be in your record collection. We're reaching the top 5 here, people. Oh wait, here, I should actually show off the thing. I'm sorry, Josh. So it's just beautiful. It's I think it's a reference to isn't there a play called A Night at the Opera? Is that real? Yeah, there is. So I guess it's a reference to that with all the members and this is who they represent or whatever. I believe the fairies are Freddie and the lions are John and Brian, and then the swan is Roger, I believe, or maybe it's the other way around. And it's almost like it's written as a play. It feels like a play, and that's so beautiful. And it's a gatefold with all of the lyrics as well. Yeah. very exciting. I think it's an original pressing too, actually. But yeah. Number 5, which is very interesting. And I was once again flip-flopping between number 6 and 5. Number 5 is Led Zeppelin 4, aka Untitled, by Led Zeppelin, released in 1971. It is probably the most mysterious looking and also the most mysterious sounding within this entire list. Led Zeppelin 4 shows that the term rock god does not just get thrown around like all willy-nilly or whatever. This album's influences of hard rock, folk, and blues are very apparent, yet so it almost feels like this album needs its own genre. It's so specific. Along with the mystical lyrical themes that are direct references to Lord of the Rings books, giving this album a sort of out of this realm feel to it, with singles Black Dog, Misty Mountain Hop, Rock and Roll, and Four Sticks. Every other song on this record, there are genuinely no bad songs in this record. And that's not to mention one of the biggest songs of all time that is not even a single, and that is the 8-minute long rock anthem, Stairway to Heaven, which is considered one of the greatest songs of all time. This album is the band's best-selling album. It is one of the best-selling albums of all time, with the musical influences, storytelling, and Robert Plant's unreplicable voice. This album is worthy of being in everyone's record collection. So, Led Zeppelin 3 was actually it received very lukewarm takes, so they just decided that for their 4th album, they were just going to untitle it, so that there would be zero what's the word for it? There wouldn't be so much of a praise for it, I guess. But there's all that, and then there's the gatefold, which is so peak. I know this is insane, but look at that. That's so peak. Shout out to Ken Vardy, because apparently that's his record. I got it secondhand, which is peak. Number 4. Oh boy, this is very exciting. So, what is number 4 on my list after I just talked about Led Zeppelin? Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, released in 1973. Pink Floyd has always been a group that no matter what song I am listening to from them, I am always thinking deep retrospective thoughts. And I don't think that I can ever say that about another group like that, genuinely. With their singles Money and Us and Them, this record was recorded during the album era, and the album's concept is life. That is the entire concept of it. The songs flow into each other, making one grand masterpiece. It starts off with a heartbeat, As If You Were Born, and it goes through the journey of life, exploring themes such as conflict, greed, mental illness, and death, ending with a heartbeat. This album goes on a continuing loop, as if it's the human experience that never ends. This album is often regarded as one of the greatest albums of all time, and this album makes you want to think long and hard about your own mortality as a human. Whether that's a good thing or not, just the album cover alone is worthy of being in everybody's record collection. Now, just look at the record. That is so ominous. You know what I mean? It's so dark. You don't know what you're getting yourself into before you even look at it. You know what I mean? But look at that. That's crazy. And it's a gatefold, which is peak. Look at that. That's so beautiful. When I saw Roger Waters live, one of the members of Pink Floyd, he had the heartbeat thing on the screens and stuff. It was really, really cool. I don't think there's any sleeves or anything in it. No, there's not. So, top 3. Who's excited? I'm excited. Okay. So number 3, I don't think it comes as a surprise to anybody, but it wasn't to me. So number 3, top 3, is Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel, released in 1970. This is a record I really wish I had sooner in my life. It incorporates elements of R&B, jazz, and pop and gospel. This album feels like a quiet goodbye from the duo after a 7-year-long run. There's a sort of ethereal aura to this album that I don't think I've ever felt while listening to an album before. You leave this album wanting more. When it's over, you're like, oh, I really wish I had more to this, honestly. With the singles El Condor Pasa, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Cecilia, and The Boxer, which was one of my most streamed songs of 2024, and I believe it was like in my top 10 in 2025 as well. You come to this album for songs like The Boxer, and you leave with these folky, fun tunes like Cecilia and Keep the Customer Satisfied. Bridge Over Troubled Water won Album of the Year at the 1971 Grammy Awards, beating Let It Be by the Beatles. It is one of the best-selling albums of all time, and it is probably one of my favorite non-Beatles, non-Paul McCartney record of all time. And that wouldn't be so high. This record would not be so high on my list if I hadn't bought it on vinyl. That is the genuine truth. I bought this because, it was Simon and Garfunkel at Record Store Day, and I was blown away when I first listened to it. I just couldn't believe that this record was so perfect. The quiet, perfect harmonies and the beautiful poetry of Simon and Garfunkel are worthy of being in your record collection. So the album cover alone, you can look at it and it's just like, it's actually taken from a documentary. It's a still from the documentary that they did back then. And it's just kind of goofy looking. And then there's the back. And then one thing I wanted to note was the actual vinyl pressing of it, which is this beautiful, it's clear. Isn't that just so freaking cool, dude? So there's that. So I wanted to show that off so that I didn't have that along with my favorite pressings. So yeah, that's number 3. I'm not going to go too into depth in number 2 because I've already talked about number 2 quite recently. And that is Abbey Road by the Beatles, released in 1969. Obvi. I myself am not surprised. I'm quite surprised that this isn't number 1, but they are my favorite group of all time, but that doesn't mean that they need to be my favorite overall with albums and songs and all that. It is the final recorded studio album from the greatest group of all time, and they put their absolute best in this final album. With singles Something and Come Together, these singles, they are not even the tip of the iceberg that is this album. The album cover and the second side of this album, which I consider to be one of the most perfect and most beautiful pieces of music ever created, it should be in your record collection. And for more information about that, you can watch my last episode of Sprynyl on riotradio.ca where I go way more into depth about this. But if you just look at this album cover, like, come on, how could you not want this? It's probably it's the most recreated album cover of all time. It is often replicated, never duplicated, but it's just crazy. How could you not want that? Number 1, who's ready? Who's hyped up? Who's hyped for the number 1 record that I think, yeah, let's go, boys, let's go. This is the number 1 record that I think should be in everybody's record collection. It's Thriller by Michael Jackson, released in 1982. Once again, this is a record that I wish I had in my record collection sooner. My mother would tell me constantly, you should listen to Thriller, it's really good. And I was just like it's Michael Jackson, what's he gonna do? Like, I didn't know much about him at the time, and then I learned so much. I think you bought it for me for Christmas, and then I finally listened to it. I don't remember, but this album has elements of pop, R&B, and post-disco. Although this album is inherently disco, it still feels timeless, and I feel so emotional when I listen to this album. It's like I can't even put into words. It's so emotion-evoking. You go into this album for Beat It and Billie Jean and Wanna Be Startin' Something, but you leave with Human Nature, Baby Be Mine, and of course, The Girl Is Mine, featuring Paul McCartney. So I technically have a Beatle as my number 1. But nothing will ever stand the test of time like the song and the music video, Thriller, which has been named one of the greatest music videos of all time and one of the greatest songs of all time. There are absolutely no skips within this album, and even if you don't know some of the songs on it, you can't deny that they are magnificent pieces of art. It is the best-selling album of all time, with an estimated 7 million copies sold worldwide. This album changed the music industry and made musicians realize that also music videos can be seen as works of art. Along with being like the best-selling album of all time, it is the only album I have that I have multiple copies of on various amounts of formats. I have Thriller on CD, I have it on, oh my god, what's it called? Cassette, and on vinyl. I don't even have that with any Beatles or Paul McCartney record. This needs to be in everybody's record collection. So, what did we think of that top 10? Do you think it was all right? It was all right? Pretty decent? Some weird ones in there, I would say. Absolutely. So, let's kind of shift gears a little bit. I don't know how much time I'll have for this, but whatever. This is going to be, so for the second segment of this show, I'm going to be talking about my 11 favorite pressings. I decided 11 this morning in my record collection. So, you don't have to have these records in your record collection. These are just records that I really wanted or I just really liked because the vinyl pressing of it was absolutely magnificent. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a vinyl record because you think it looks cool. It's way better looking than the standard black pressing. Like, it's way cooler. Oh, but Alex, the colored pressings, it makes the sound worse. Boo, what's it like to be boring? What's it like to be boring? So the first three records that I have are going to be standard black pressings, but I had always wanted these in my record collection. And we're starting off strong with Smile Sessions. Actually, I think I'm going to get rid of this for right now because I'm not going too much into depth. But this is Smile Sessions, released by the Beach Boys. It is the 2011 US release, and a friend of mine at the time got this for me, and I don't know if anybody's watched The Beach Boys Summer from Alex Ray, but he'll go into detail about how, like, this is not a finished record and Brian Wilson wanted this to be a teenage symphony for God. This is probably one of the greatest non-made records, if that makes sense, like unfinished records of all time. And I had wanted this record for so long, and it is almost impossible to find, and I got it for 100 bones, and it's just so beautiful. I wanted this record so bad, dude. So when I finally got it, I finally was like done stressing about like my record collection because I finally got this. This was like my number one in my record collection that I wanted. So yeah, there's that. I won't go too much into detail about it, but yeah, there's that. Fun stuff, guys. Next, we have Wingspan, Hits and History from Paul McCartney and Wings. So this record was released in 2001. It is the Europe release, and I don't know how much you guys know about vinyl records, but there was this point in the world where CDs were kind of the big thing, and people just saw vinyls as obsolete, useless things. That has since been changed, as I believe that the vinyl industry has like surpassed like $1 billion or something crazy like that for the first time since like the 80s. So like vinyls aren't obsolete anymore, man. But this record is crazy because this was the reason why I love Paul McCartney so much. It is because of this record. My dad used to play this on iTunes constantly, and that was just it, man. And I found this in a record store in Halliburton, actually. I think I got it for like $100 and $150 or something like that. I didn't care. I needed this on vinyl so bad. You know how there's just something that you want so badly and you're like, I don't care how much money this costs? That was how I felt when I bought this record. So the inside of it is a gatefold. Oh yeah. And it's like all the members of Wings. The Hits and History collection includes many of my favorite Paul McCartney and Wings tracks, whether you're hearing them for the first time or you were around in the 1970s and having memories of the songs. I hope you enjoy checking out what I think was some of our best work. So these were hand chosen by Paul McCartney, and this is a double LP, and like I still have all the original inner sleeves and stuff like that. I'm not gonna pull them out, but for some reason this was like because it's a standard black pressing, I'm not gonna do that, but it came with like a Wikipedia page with it. Like somebody printed off the wiki page and put it in there. Like, okay, dude. Like, thanks. But yeah, this was a big deal because this was the reason why I'm doing any of this, you know? Next, this is going to make my mother very happy. I have Music by Madonna. Oh my I love this record. It's so good. Okay, so my mother is a huge Madonna fan. Huge Madonna fan. So when I was like a little kid, it was more of like her early like 2000 stuff or whatever that my mother would play because that was the newest stuff. So I love a lot of the early like Madonna, like early 2000s Madonna stuff, and I have this on CD. I think I have a couple copies of this, and one of my favorite songs from her is on here, which is called Don't Tell Me. It is like my favorite Madonna song of all time. I used to make mom listen to it in the car with me all the time. So this is the year 2000 Europe release that I got from Andre Lessard, who is the owner of Another Spin Records. Please go check them out. Support local record stores. And yeah, here's like the actual inner sleeve, which is kind of like this. I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know why she went all country within this album because there's zero country within it. Like she went really country with like the actual, the cover of it. Like there's a horseshoe, like that's peak. But yeah, that's really all there is for that record. I really wanted this record so bad. So bad I wanted this record. And then I finally got it, and I was like, oh my God, now I don't have to worry about ever getting another Madonna record ever again. Why isn't this going in? Oh my God. Oh, whatever. We finally get a colored pressing here now, guys. This is a weird one. This is Thrillington by Percy Thrills Thrillington. Now you may be wondering, who is that? That sounds like a made-up name. It is a made-up name because it is a alias that Paul McCartney made. This is a Paul McCartney record, technically. It is a complete instrumental track. It is like an orchestration of his album Ram, released in 1971, I believe it was. But here's the actual vinyl record of it, which is this beautiful marbled opaque red and black vinyl, which is just so pretty. Like, come on, dude. That's so pretty. Come on. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and then here's the back of Mr. Percy conducting the orchestra. He waves his baton, which is so peak. So there's that. I bought this at Now and Then, I believe, in the Oshawa Center. So there's that. And like, it's just cool to have because like that's so peak. So this next record, I feel like it's very fitting for today because today is the release of the second Mario movie. Who's excited? Who's hyped? Yes, let's go, boys. So I feel like I had to because I bought this the day that it was basically announced from the website iam8bit.com. And this is the Super Mario Bros. Movie official soundtrack. Look how gorgeous that is, dude. The colors are so pretty. Oh my God. And then you open up the gatefold and it's Bowser playing his piano. He's playing Peaches, and it's the orchestration soundtrack, so there's none of like the actual like poppy songs of it. So you have this beautiful Mario red, which is opaque, obviously, love that. And then you also have this beautiful Luigi green. Look at that. That's so like saturated. Like it's so Mario and Luigi, obviously, but like it's just, they got the colors down perfectly for this record. It's just so beautiful. I love it, honestly. Oh my God. Can I please? You know what? These live here. I don't care. And then you have the actual inner sleeves for them. So there's that, Mario and Luigi. And then on the back you have the two toads, bro. Blue and yellow. That's so peak. So yeah. I'm watching the Mario movie today with my best friend and my boyfriend, so I'm very excited to do that. Okay, what is next? It's a picture disc. Did you know that you can have pictures on vinyl? That's true. So, here is the Zombies album, Odyssey and Oracle. And I literally only bought this record because it was a picture disc. I've never listened to this album. But, like, look at that. It's the album cover, bro. Like, that's so sick. Like, that's so cool! And then on the back, it's, like, the members and, like, what's on the sides, like, side 1, side 2, or whatever. Like, that's so peak. Is that not? I believe I got this at Iceman in Lindsay, which sells records and, like, video games and stuff like that. So if you want records and video games, like, old retro video games, then go to Lindsay. So, yeah. And then look, you, like, put it back, and then it's, like, the album cover. Like, that's so cool. So, The next one is going to be like, it's going to be like the black sheep out of all of them. It's going to be weird. This is New World Depression by the Suicide Boys. Okay, we're popping off at this. This is the 2024 US release. It is very beautiful. Like, I believe that they got it done because they're an indie band or whatever. They got it done like it wasn't like a major corporation that like made the album. So I got it off of Amazon, and it's like money, bro. That's so peak. And let me show you the actual vinyl record because it's so freaking cool. Let me show you the inner sleeve first because it like, look at that. It's still money, and it's like the guys from Suicide Boys. I don't remember their names. I don't know their names. And the vinyl record is a limited edition Coke bottle clear pressing. So it looks like a Coke bottle. So like you see it on like the white here. Like, that's so peak. You can't really see it with the light, but I've never seen a vinyl record like that before, and it's just so pretty. So there's that. Suicide Boys are also really peak, by the way. Like, you should listen to Suicide Boys because they're actually really good. They're very bassy, so if you want to listen to something good at the gym, listen to Suicide Boys because I listen to them all the time when I'm at the gym. These next two are made by the same artist who I've talked about before, which are Cavetown. This is his album Worm Food. Haven't listened to it before. I think I literally only bought it so that I could get 50% off when I was buying more of his records. So here's the actual gatefold with like the lyrics and all that and some docs. But nobody cares about that. We care more that this is a 2023 Europe release with a... Look at that, that's so peak! With an evergreen and milky clear pressing. That's so peak, dude. Like, what is that? I had no idea, by the way, that it was going to be that, like it was going to be a colored pressing like that. Half the time when you order stuff like that, you have no idea that they're even going to be colored pressings until you open them. And I think that that's just the beauty of buying records like that, is that if they don't have a hype sticker that's telling you, like, yo, this is what's cool with the record, then you're not going to know until the second you open it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I bought it off his website. The next record is Dear by Cavetown, which is so beautiful. And this was a record I actually really wanted from him. I love his music so much. It's so touching. It's so nostalgic sounding and so pure. This is the 2023 UK and US release. And I bought it off his website because I do love this album. Like I said, I think there's a... Okay, here's the inner sleeve, which is like just pictures of him and his ma. And the songs off of it, because this is just a 12-inch vinyl, which means that there's only one side to this record. It's not etched or anything. You guys ready? This is a limited edition 12-inch red pressing. Ooh, it's a fish! And like on this side, it's completely etched in, so there's no grooves. You can see it in the camera, so I can do this all I want. You know what I mean? So it's all just an image, and then on the other side, it is the actual record, which is so freaking pretty, bro. Like, look at that. Can I even... Yeah. Look at that. That's so cool. And once again, I had no idea that that was even going to be, like, on the record until I opened it. And I was like, what is this? I was so blown away by it. It was beautiful. We're in the top two. This record, I literally only bought because of the pressing. This is the 2024 US release and the 10-year anniversary edition of Salad Days by Mac DeMarco. And I saw him live, and I really wanted to talk about this album when I was going to see him back in December with Madison. But I didn't really care about the songs on it like I do This Old Dog. Sorry to say to you, man. So yeah, this is the deluxe edition, so it has like demos and like outtakes and stuff like that to it. So like you open it up, it's a trifold actually. Whoa, that's peak, right? Yeah. Mac DeMarco, Edmonton. And then there's like posters and all that garbage. But we don't care about that. What we care about is the actual pressing. The reason why I bought this record. So like you're looking at it, it's like cool or whatever. Oh, wait, what's going on here? It is a holographic pressing. Which, what? What? That's so peak. That's so cool, is it not? Like, I literally only bought, oh my God, it's so pretty. I literally only bought this record because it was a holographic pressing, and I had never, ever seen any, I didn't know that records could come like that. I had zero idea, and I believe it's like that on the other one too. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the same sort of deal. Look at that on that. Look at that, so cool. Whoa! It's like broken. It looks broken, bro. It's so peak. So yeah, that's a record that I literally only bought because of the pressing. And I searched high and low for this record. I think a lot of people were like trying to get it. But I bought this at Cops Records in Oshawa. They were like the only place that had it. So the last record I'm talking about. It is the 2024 UK, Europe, and US release. And I've talked about this group on here before, like when I very first started. But it features another artist. This is Jordana and TV Girl with their album Summer's Over. Look at that. Isn't that so like, how do you describe a very Lord of the Rings-esque, like very like tarot card reading almost. It's very, very beautiful. So the thing about this record is that it's another 12-inch record, so there's only one side to this record. So like there's like that, which is so pretty, right? So pretty. So all the songs were written by Jordana, but it was all mixed by Jason Wyman, who was a part of TV Girl, which is one of my favorite groups that I've discovered in the last few years. So I got this record from Alley Cats in Aurelia, and they were the only record store that I had seen that was selling TV Girl records. I had bought like 3 of my favorite TV Girl records off of their website after I had to sign up to their newsletter. I had to like pre-order. It was like a whole thing. It was a huge deal, and I still have the plastic on 2 of my TV Girl records. TV Girl got me through a terrible breakup, and I probably wouldn't be here without TV Girl. I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I saw that they were like, when they had this album, I was like, I don't care if it's like not fully TV Girl, I need this in my record collection because it's also in a record store. But what I didn't know about this record was that, oh yeah, it's a one-sided record like I showed you, right? It is a 12-inch single. It's single-sided, and on the other side it is completely etched as if it matches the album cover, which is so gorgeous. This is like a double sort of piece almost. Like it almost works in 2 different ways. Like you can hang it up on your wall, or you can just play it as well if you wanted to. So like, yeah, you can touch the thing because it's only one-sided, right? But I know that the second one was really cool, but I literally bought it. I had no idea. I had zero idea that this was going to be like anything cool. Like 9 times out of 10 with these records, I did not know that they were going to be as cool as they are. And I think that that's the fun of collecting and buying records, is that you don't know until you buy it. But like with Spotify or like buying it anywhere else, like digitally, you don't get that. You don't get to see that visual aspect like you do. Like you have no idea how you get to see how the artist interprets their piece of art. And I think that that's so beautiful that they felt, oh, this would be perfect if we just etched that into the actual vinyl record. And that's the beauty of it, is like nobody's record collection is going to be perfect. Mine by all means is not perfect. There's so many times where I'll throw around records and I'm just like, well, this is warped, this is broken, whatever. I have multiple copies of a lot of records because some of them are just damaged, or like when I did Supertramp, I had my record at home, but it was completely warped. And so I went to Now and Then Records and I bought a new copy because I needed to. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, everybody should have a record collection. I think that everybody should have a collection that they can truly say is their own. They don't feel like they have to rent it out to anybody or anything like that. This is just something that you can just have on your own, like a DVD collection, CD collection for all you know, vinyl collection, books, action figures, whatever. I think that makes us all individually unique, and I'm so happy that my vinyl collection makes me individually unique, and I think that that's so cool, and I really hope that this show has like made people, like inspired people to go out and buy their own records or started collecting physical media like VHS tapes or anything like that. I really, really hope that that's the case. Like, vinyl records gave me such a belonging, I guess, in a way. Like, I got like my Beatles mono box set, like from my mother, like I showed off last week. I really wish I could have brought that in. Like, it's really, really cool, but it's not like my favorite thing of all time, unfortunately, but it's really, really cool. And the cool thing about it is that like you can get like bootleg copies of stuff. Like, I have the entire Beatles like rooftop concert bootlegged on vinyl. Like, that's so cool. Like, sure, there's probably people that are like, oh, well, it should be an original release or yada, yada, yada. But, like, like, who cares? Who cares? I think that if you want it in your record collection, then you should just get it. If it's, like, mainstream, who cares? Then you have it. If you want, like, 7-inch records or, like, 12-inch records or whatever, if your turntable isn't the most high up-to-date thing, like the greatest thing ever created, who cares? We all start somewhere. I had a suitcase record player when I first started out. I now have like a really good like Audio-Technica record player. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we all start somewhere. Everybody's collection starts somewhere. We all start small and we all make it up big. These have just been like my records that I think that you should have in your record collection. And there's nothing wrong with owning things, because in a world where we're so dominated by subscriptions and like paying like these giant corporations all this money, we need something that we can keep ourselves grounded and feel secure in owning. And that's what my vinyl collection is for me, at least. But yeah, this is my last episode of Sprynyl with Alex Spry, the show where I talk about my record collection. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching my show for 64 episodes. I was very scared, and I had no idea what I wanted to do for a show. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about the Beatles or what, but I was talking to a friend at the time, and he was like, well, maybe you should just talk about your record collection. And I was like, that's such a good idea, because then I won't get bored of like everything, because I have so much to say about records, and they're like my favorite thing ever. You know, like it's perfect. It's so beautiful. And I feel like this show really broke me out of my shell. It took me out of my shell. It took me out of my comfort zone. And I want to thank everybody at Riot Radio for giving me a show and being so nice and supportive to me. Like back when I met all yous a few years ago, like you guys were all so nice and so opening and so welcoming, especially at that old dank studio. Oh my god, it was so bad, bro. Now look where we are now. We're so bougie now, bro. Like, it's crazy. But I want to say thank you to Dan, Eldon, Justin, and Evan for when he was here. All of my techs that I have had throughout the 2 years, and Josh for filling in and teching today, repping it up. I want to say thank you to my mom and Ross and my grandparents, Grandma Pops, and all my family and everybody that has followed me on Instagram, all of my friends on Facebook that have liked my posts about being on Sprynyl and all that. And but yeah, I just want to say I want to say thank you for everybody who has given me support on this show. Oh, hi, Ma.
Congratulations on your last
Oh, thank you.
at Riot Radio. We're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's so oh my god, we got the Sprynyl yellow up in here.
You bet.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm like starstruck now. I don't know what to do now.
Read your card.
Oh, read my card.
Sign off.
Sign off? Okay. But who knows if I'll be back for another show. Who knows? But this has been the finale of just this show, obviously. What's this say? Congrats on your 64th and final episode of Sprynyl. Always remember this start of your career when you're on the Beatles channel. I'm so proud of you. Love, Mom. That's so sweet. That's so peak. But, yeah. Buy records. Support local record stores. Stop streaming stuff. I don't know. Like, it's just... Let me move all this. But yeah, thank you for tuning in for so many episodes and hearing me yap about Paul McCartney and the Beatles and just my passion for records and seeing me cry so many times. Don't forget that you can follow us on social media at DCSA Media Hub. You can follow me on Instagram at Alex Spry with an extra Y at the end. You can follow the show on Instagram at Sprynyl if you want. There might be more. Who knows? Just tune in and find out. But yeah. Hopefully you're buying records after watching this show. But I'm going to close off this episode with another Beatles song. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Here is A Day in the Life by the Beatles, right here on riotradio.ca. I have been your host, Alex Spry.